Hey everybody, it's Michael here from Replica Airguns with another field test shooting video. This week I'm going to be shooting two Umarex Glocks, so stay posted for both videos. If you're watching one, then there'll be another one. I have both guns here, so if you're watching the video for the Umarex Glock 17 Gen 3 steel BB pistol, then check out the airsoft version, which will be another video this week. If you're watching the Glock Gen 4, Glock 17 Gen 4 airsoft version, then check out the BB version as well. Okay, so I've done tabletop videos for both of those guns. We're now just going to do the field test shooting videos. We're going to test out the feet per second. We're going to see how accurate it is on the target from 30 feet downrange using a semi-rested position. Okay, so we're going to start. Well, today we're looking at the Glock 17 Umarex Gen 3 4.5 millimeter steel BB pistol. That's the one we're checking out today. I've got 10 rounds in here, but we're going to put 5 rounds through the chronograph. Let's see if we can get a decent reading. Just got to line this up a little there, make sure I'm hitting the target. Brand new CO2, 5.1 grain steel BBs, and shot number 1. 371, 366, 361, 360, 355. So a little bit of a drop, but that's pretty normal. The temperature in here is like maybe 15 degrees Celsius. Not that warm. Like we're in the 60s, like probably the low 60s Fahrenheit, I'm imagining. Maybe we'll ask Google, hey Google, what is 15 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit?
15 degrees Celsius equal 59 degrees Fahrenheit.
59, so we're just below 60 degrees Fahrenheit. It's not too warm. Warm enough for me with a hoodie on, and I was wearing a toque earlier, but it's a little cool in here. We got everything opened up, so it's not, it's wintertime, right? What do you expect, right? Definitely better than being outside, I can tell you that. Dry and relatively warm. Okay, so next up, we're gonna put 10 rounds in the paper target from 30 feet out using the same rested position, okay? And then I'll talk a little bit about trigger pull and stuff like that. All right, we're all set up. Target, fresh target downrange, 30 feet. We're gonna use the semi-rested position, well, kind of a fully rested position. So I'm got this nice sandbag up front and I'm seated in the back. It gives me a pretty, reasonably decent shooting position. There's obviously gonna be a little bit of human factor involved, eyesight, shaky hands, how many coffees did I have, all of those things. If I were to put it in some sort of an actual clamp, obviously we get a little bit better results, but we're just gonna see how it does. How does it shoot, get on target? Is it sort of centered fairly well? And can I get a decent grouping just shooting sort of like offhand like this? Okay, so here we go. Okay, lock back. After the 10 rounds, let's go check the target out. We'll talk a little bit about the gun. Really not a bad group. That's about a 2-inch group, maybe just under. Really, they all spread out nicely. This gun would be great at 30 feet, just shooting whatever. Pop cans, hit them all day long for sure, maybe even further ranges. Just a little bit to the left, but well centered up and down, right? So elevation is great. A lot of these guns shoot to the left, and I don't think it's me because other people say the same thing. They say, gun shoots a little to the left. Sometimes it's high and to the left, whatever. I hold it pretty good. I hold basically loosely with my right trigger finger, and I hold tightly with my left one so that I'm not gripping and pulling. So the trigger finger is just doing its job. This hand is just gripping, and it usually allows for pretty well-centered shots as long as the gun is well-centered. That's still pretty good. I mean, I can just pull it over just a tiny bit. The sights are not adjustable, but that's fine. We weren't that far off. This gun shot pretty good. Feet per second wasn't bad. The trigger's nice. With these guns, with the way that the magazine works, if you watch my tabletop video, I explained that the first part of the trigger is kind of indexing a BB. There's basically the magazine has this little sort of like sliding mechanism on the top of it that pushes the BB into the breech, which seals it up a little bit better, allowing for better FPS and more shots per CO2. There is a slight bit of friction. I wouldn't even call it that because it's very minimal as that moves forward and indexes basically a BB into the chamber. And then you get to the release point, which is much heavier. I'm gonna say much heavier, it's noticeably heavier, but it's not crazy. I call it medium to lightly heavy trigger pull at that point, but it is fairly crisp. It's not like you're guessing when it's gonna release. You just gotta allow for a certain amount of pull, especially if you're target shooting and you're shooting for accuracy, you're gonna notice it a bit more. But if you're just shooting fast, you really won't notice it at all. It's not a heavy trigger by any means. It's not a light trigger by any means, but it's decent, okay? Blowback feels good. You'll see that in the video that there's definitely a nice kick blowback action. The sights are easy to use. You know, everything worked the way it's supposed to. So really, I like this gun. I mean, for basically the first blowback BB Umarex licensed Glock, I think it's a real winner. And it's not super expensive. It's got good weight. It's a full-size dropout metal magazine with blowback action. You know, yeah, or am I looking forward to the full blowback version of this gun? Yeah, but it's going to be a little bit less powerful. It's going to get a little bit less shots per CO2. So you may prefer this over that one anyways. It depends on what your shooting style is. All right, check it out in our Canada and US online stores. So replicairguns.ca, replicairguns.us. We have them there if you want to buy one, right? I've also done tabletop videos for this gun. So check that out over at replicairguns.com. And of course, you know, subscribe, right? Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those places. And if you're interested in other products like air guns, BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, blank guns, and other accessories, then go to our Canadian and our US stores. All right, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.